Hey, good morning. My name is Steve. Right here to my left is Carolyn Templeton and Stapleton. I'm sorry. I always call her Miss Templeton because I know someone named Carolyn Templeton. And to my right is Jerry Ledoux. We're at the Baton Rouge headquarters of the Department of Corrections. The time is 9:33. The date is August the 6th of 2025. We're here to talk about a case where Mr. Jody Craig has asked to be paroled, to be let out early from his completing his sentence. He's at the Louisiana State Penitentiary, and staff at Louisiana State Penitentiary, would you introduce yourself, please?
Deputy Warden Rochelle Ambo.
Deputy Warden Ashley Olivo.
Reginald Admiral, application.
Carmen Chipley, Offender Records.
Okay, thank you. And we'll call on you in just a little bit. And we have some people here that are observing this, and some people here that will be testifying on behalf of your effort, Mr. Craig, to be released. And we have people that are going to be testifying against your effort to be released that are here. And I see you have a number of people behind you. And of course, we will introduce them as they speak. I think that one of them there is going to speak, Miss Melinda House. Then Gerald Jackson is going to speak here in headquarters. And then Kerry Myers is Zooming in with Louisiana Parole Project, and he's going to be speaking. Before we do that and get into that, since we've had introductions, and this is our fourth or fifth case this morning, so we have formally opened our session. Before we get into anything else, that's all the procedural matters we have. So it'll go like this, Mr. Craig. I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, give us your DLC number, and tell us exactly why you're there. Tell us what you've accomplished since you've been there, as far as that's going to help in your effort to convince us to parole you, and to give us a little bit of background on you. Then we're going to ask the facility there at Louisiana State Penitentiary to tell us what kind of fellow you've been there. Then I'll ask you some questions since the case was assigned to me. And then my co-workers here will ask questions, then we'll make our decision. Pretty simple process. So,
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Craig, the show is yours. This is your chance to try to convince us that you're worthy of being paroled early.
Yes, sir. My name is Jody Craig, number 92113. I've been incarcerated since December the 10th, 1979. Started out on a day where I had a drinking associate of mine that came by, and we went out on Highway 31 and started hitting a bunch of lounges and all that. And drinking at that time in my life, it was kind of a void in my life, a bad decision that I'd made. And I started out, and for some reason, after we went to quite a few clubs, I stole a truck, got in the company truck that he had ridden in, cranked it up, stole it, and threw a ride in it. After I rode around and went to different various places, I threw a ride in the vehicle, and then one thing led to another. I ended up committing the crime of aggravated kidnapping and had Mr. Jim Rogers drive me to Bossier City. And then I had released him. I seen a couple coming out of the Ravana restaurant in Bossier City. Then I committed the crime of aggravated kidnapping on Michael Wayne Hardaway and Cynthia Baxter, and had them drive me on the interstate going toward Mississippi. And at some point around that area, I had made the decision to where I killed Michael Wayne Hardaway in Delhi, Louisiana, and had done it, and then continued to drive and was caught in a 10-car roadblock in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and had signed extradition back to Louisiana. And the impact of this crime, it was, over the years and all, I had really hit bottom. It was a time in my life, due to that decision, that it was really an irrational act. I'm the one that had made that decision and all that, but alcohol played a profound influence in it. I'm sorry for my crimes. I've tried to vocalize that to the victims that were impacted by this. And I've also, when I hit bottom and I came to Louisiana State Prison and finally ended up here after being convicted, I had really hit bottom. I didn't want any trouble. And due to the self-help programs they had right here at LSP, I became involved in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and it helped me to realize things about myself, what was going on in my life, a way that I could demonstrate, make amends, try to become a better person, and try to reestablish stuff to where I realized the accountability. Not only did I hurt myself and my relationship to God, I hurt various victimized families. I victimized my own family, society. And so due to the programs that they have right here, I was able to learn a lot about myself. I was able to be involved in so many self-help programs, not only the United States JCs, but Toastmasters, Alcoholics Anonymous, substance abuse. And even though I was denied parole last time I came before the parole board, life continues on. My relationship around 1995, I'm a convert to the Catholic faith. For many years in my life, I was agnostic, but I began to seek, and I found Jesus through the church and began to establish that relationship. And through that, I became very actively involved in it. And for many years, it's helped me out tremendously, become such a part of my life. And the board and all recommended more programs. I had no problem with that because these programs are really good. Continued with it. I have a lot of support, not only from the church, but my family and myself. And my plan is to stay involved with the church and also with various recovery support groups and try to get out there and make a difference through volunteering my time, whether it be with prison ministry or whatever. The board was right in that area and addressing that. And I just want to say that I'm a change for the better, and I'm grateful for everything that these programs have offered me to where I can realize to where I can make those amends and become a better person in society at large.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate those comments, and we will certainly take them into consideration when we make our decision. Is the warden or the deputy warden available in the room to talk to us, please, about yes, ma'am. Would you tell us what fellow he's been?
Okay, so Mr. Craig has great work ethics. He's a Class A trustee. He's very well mannered and cooperative with anything orders that he's given. He only had a total of 12 DB reports the whole time he's been here. The last one being in November 2002. He has taken 100 hours, substance abuse, anger management, victim awareness, and letter training, thinking for a change, celebrate recovery, which is a part of Alcoholic Anonymous. He's a member of Toastmasters and the JCs, and his tiger is low.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate that bit of information. Well, we'll move on now to Mr. Kerry Myers, who is on Zoom, representing Louisiana Parole Project. And what are y'all willing to do, Mr. Myers?
Good morning. Kerry Myers with the Louisiana Parole Project. We're here in support of Jody Craig's parole. We supported Mr. Craig through his clemency process and through his first hearing. As he stated, in many cases, people who get denied have two options. They can spiral, they can lose hope, or they can take that and the recommendations of the board. They can take it to heart and they can continue to improve. Jody has done exactly that. Jody has been incarcerated for 45 years. He's 68 years old. We certainly understand the needs of someone who's been incarcerated that long and at his age. Parole Project will provide him with transitional programming upon release. We'll take him into our program. He'll get a case manager, a mentor, directly to work with him. He'll become versed in technology, particularly in social norms, understanding simply how the world works today outside of incarceration. We'll provide him with all the support he needs to connect to any services, his medical. We'll continue to, we have already worked with his family. His long-term plan is already initiated his ICOTS to Texas, and that is his long-term plan to return to Texas once he completes a parole project. But we are prepared to work with Jody through this transition. By all accounts, during his 45 years of incarceration, Jody's been a model prisoner, hasn't had a write-up in 23 years, has availed himself to all of the things that prison has to offer him. He's no threat to public safety. We come before this board often. You see petitioners become before this board often. And in so many cases, the offense is difficult. They're all difficult. We understand that. Jody has done everything he can to become the person he is today. We believe that. That's why we've been with Jody since his clemency hearing, and we'll continue to support Jody. We'll ask this board to consider these factors today and grant his parole.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Myers. Thank you for the job that y'all do, the work you do, and thank you for your comments. We'll take them very seriously. We'll move on to Mr. Gerald Jackson, who is headquarters here. Mr. Jackson, would you tell us exactly what your relationship with is and what you have to say?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. My name is Gerald Jackson. I served as a volunteer chaplain in Angola for 21 years. In my last 5 years there, I was full-time chaplain. So I worked directly with Jody. Jody was my clerk in the chaplain's office. And I guess over my last 5 years in Angola, I probably saw Jody more than I saw my family because I was there very often. One of the reasons why Jody was in that position, he was assigned to that position by my predecessor, Father Bernie Companion, is that Jody was extremely trustworthy. Not only was he competent in doing the job that we asked him to do, but we needed someone in that position that we could trust. We needed to protect the integrity of the chapel when we weren't in the building itself. We needed someone to be able to handle records properly. And everything that we asked Jody to do, he did it exceptionally well. He was extremely dependable, extremely responsible. Again, there was nothing I could ask Jody to do that he couldn't do. And in many cases, Jody knew me so well that he could answer my questions before I answered. The other thing that I asked Jody to do is to get very involved with our retreat program. During the course of the time that I was there, even before I was there, there was a retreat program where high school juniors would come up to Angola, and we had like 26 different groups a year that would come up there on a Saturday. And Jody was one of my speakers. And the reason I wanted Jody to be one of the speakers is because Jody was able to talk openly about what he had done. He admitted what he'd done. He'd taken responsibility. He explained to the students the consequences of his actions, and also talked to them about being forgiven, and also God's forgiveness and stuff like that, and in relationship to his church and stuff like that. Very, very genuine, very, very heartfelt. I thought that Jody connected with the kid because he was so genuine in his message to them that he was very, very effective. Jody also had a strong family network. I've gotten to know Jody's family members since I've gotten to know Jody, and I feel very comfortable in the environment that Jody may be able to go back to. He'll have the support he needs. I'm coming up to you to mention to you that this is one of the most comfortable talks I've been able to ever give about somebody that I'm speaking for, because I got to know Jody so well that I feel quite comfortable in where he is today. And again, I ask for y'all's consideration. There's no doubt in my mind that Jody will do well if he's given that opportunity, and I appreciate y'all's time.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for your passion, for your faith, your passion for helping people, and your passion for him.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Now we'll continue with people that are in favor The last speaker will be Melinda House, who is the sister who is at Louisiana State Penitentiary. Melinda, we can hear you from there, so you don't have to get up or anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good morning. I am Melinda Craig House. I'm Jody's sister, and I'm here today to speak in support of Jody. Over the years, I've been coming to Angola since I was 15, and I'm so thankful that over those years of time coming that I saw for myself the desire and the willingness for Jody to change and turn his life around. And not only that, but so many over the years, every time we come visit, I have someone to approach us that always tells us what an exceptional inmate and what a good person Jody has become. And so that's not something that, we've asked for. They are willing to tell us about that. And even as close as last month, I had someone to approach me. And so I'm so thankful for the Christian man that he is today. Although, our thoughts and prayers have always been with the families that are so deeply impacted by all of this. And but I'm so thankful for all the things that he has done. He has an excellent disciplinary. He's been a trustee for over 35 years. His prison ministry faith, and not only the mentors that Jay Jackson and the current chaplain and others here, but also we have a great support in our community. There are two well-respected leaders in our community that own businesses family-owned businesses for 45 years, and they both are willing to give Jody employment. We have so many in our community have wrote in letters of support, and they're all wanting the best and wanting to be there to support Jody when he comes home. Our family, we have he'll be able to come home and have a loving and stable environment. We would like for Jody to continue with his prison ministry. I've reached out to even the local diocese and talked to the deacon there, and that's over prison ministry where we're from. And if Jody's granted today, he said he would look forward to having someone like Jody to come. And I know God has used Jody. He speaks on those retreats to the young people. He has helped so many here in Angola with helping them get their GEDs. I know God's used him here, and I know that he has such bigger plans for him if given the opportunity to come home. And I humbly ask you today if y'all would grant Jody's parole, and I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. You're a loyal sister, and we appreciate your comments. We'll take them into consideration. I would ask that everyone in the room there, starting with the man that is on your direct left, would you introduce yourself for purposes of the record, please?
My name is Thomas Key, Jody's cousin.
Okay.
Tracy Craig, brother.
Okay.
Angelo Nola. Chaplain.
Thank you. Okay, behind you.
Michael Wagner, childhood friend. Grew up with the family.
William Messenger, chaplain here at Louisiana State Penitentiary.
Melissa Messenger, volunteer chaplain.
Okay, thank y'all for being there in support of him. We appreciate that very much. Okay, we'll move on to those that are in opposition, and we have some that are on Zoom, but they will not be speaking. Mr. Cody Boyd with the Bossier Parish ADA's office, and I'm not sure if the Bossier District Attorney is here or not, is on Zoom or not, but I know he was interested also. Jason Parker, who is the Webster Parish Sheriff, he is on Zoom. Those that are here to speak are going to be Justin Lewis, who is the victim's nephew, and Representative Raymond Cruz with the House of Representatives. And so we'll start off with Mr. Lewis. Would you talk to us, please?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Young said that alcohol had a profound effect on him, led him to make some irrational decisions. He stated that alcohol anonymous and the Catholic Church has helped him change. I know many people who are drinking are alcoholics. It's profound in many of their lives and has made them all make irrational decisions. I don't know of any of those irrational decisions leading to burglary, robbery, kidnap, and murder. I pray the Lord will use the most stringent caution when releasing someone to a society where alcohol can be purchased on every corner to prevent more irrational decisions being made. I am sure victims' awareness is a fantastic force, but I think for it to be successful, the person would have to know who the victims are. When Jody went to the Rogers residence, he got out with 2 guns. I was at the Rogers residence Sunday. Mr. Rogers' daughter and daughter-in-law, Melanie, showed me where he went inside the house and jerked the phone off the wall where no phone calls could be made. He told them he killed someone in Kilgore earlier that day. He and another associate had been at bars since early that morning. They stole a gun at one bar and got into a fight at another. That's when he stole Ricky Black's truck and drove toward Tyler. He wanted to take Melanie, who was 7 months pregnant. He held his gun on her when Mr. Rogers entered the house and pleaded with him to take him instead. As they were leaving, Mr. Rogers' wife, Polly, drove up to the house. Jody told Melanie and Jim Rogers Jr. to tell Polly that they were going on a beer run. He told them if they told her anything else, he'd come back and kill them all. He held a pistol up to Jim Rogers' head several times on the way to Bossier. Mr. Rogers drove back roads all the way to Bossier and avoided the interstate. So it was a longer drive than it would have taken on the interstate. That's how they drove up in front of the Ravana restaurant on Highway 80. Jim Rogers Sr. suffered until the day he died and the trauma he endured that day. He had recurring nightmares for 13 years until the day he died. He blamed himself for Mike's death. Melanie is still scared to be alone to this day. Melanie Rogers, Polly Rogers, and Jim Rogers Jr. victims of that. I'm glad he goes to church. My son said that even agnostics in the Marine Corps go to church on Sundays to avoid tearing down the whole platoon's barracks and putting them back together. The same can apply to prisoners. He was agnostic prior to going there. He said he couldn't come up with words to describe his actions that day. I decided to help him today by reading his words a year after this crime happened from the Richard Parish Public File. He said he was in a bar that morning and got an overwhelming feeling that he had to get out of there. He immediately walked out of the bar and stole a truck. He said he wasn't in control of his actions. Later that day, after the robbery and kidnapping of Tyler, he pulled into a restaurant in Bossier City, saw a young man and woman getting into the car, pulled a gun on them and forced them to drive him east toward Mississippi. He then recognized the man as Mike Hardaway. He began to feel very strange riding in the car. He became aware of having sexual feelings toward the woman, and he wanted to have sex with her. He had Mike drive off down the road near Delhi. When he got out of the car to urinate, he forced Mike out. When he was getting back in the car, he told Mike to step back. Then he had this strange, uncontrolled feeling to shoot Mike. The next thing he realized, he had shot the man. He said Mike made a noise and fell on the ground, flopping like a chicken. I don't know if I felt remorse or something, if I would describe it that way a year later. I believe I would probably get that, flopping like a chicken. I think I would have. I'd like everyone to know that that wasn't the end of Mike. He shot him 200 feet from a highway down an old gravel road and then sped off in the car like a coward. With bullets tearing through almost all of Mike's vital organs and shattering many bones in his body, he crawled on his hands and knees all the way to the highway yelling for help. That's where all the scars came from that were on his hand in his casket. A man named Pat Patterson, nearly 300 yards away, heard him yelling after the gunshots and went to see what the problem was. When Pat got there, Mike was dying. before he faded away, he was able to tell him who Jody was and that he had Cynthia and he was taking her toward Mississippi. Mike began to fade as he mentioned his mom and dad being older and his dad not doing well. He died moments later. Pat Patterson was a victim also. He cries till this day over Mike's death, wishing that there was something he could have done. If I had more time, I'd go into details. When Mike's belongings were returned to his parents, the police advised them not to take the clothes he was wearing that night because they were way too blood-soaked. Mike was a hero that day. Jody was a coward. In closing, I've watched several of these parole hearings, and I hear people say everyone deserves a second chance. Does second chance mean third chance? Does second chance mean fourth chance? I'd say our first chance is given to us between the ages of 16 and 18, old enough to know right from wrong. I believe he got a second chance at that age when he got drunk and disorderly. I believe he got a third chance with a drug possession charge, and I believe he got a fourth chance with assault on the law enforcement. But let's dismiss all those. The only thing he gave Mike was death. Law enforcement gave him a chance to surrender on the bridge. In his words, as soon as he saw the roadblock, he automatically put the gun under the seat and raised his hands and surrendered. Warren County Sheriff Paul Barrett figured there'd be a gun battle and had 18 lawmen set up on the Mississippi side of the bridge. They gave him a chance to live. He was given another second chance when he pled to second-degree murder and kidnapping. He was given 2 life sentences. He was charged with first-degree murder, but that comes with the possibility of death penalty. He decided to make a deal to go to prison for life without the possibility of parole to avoid the death penalty. Now, he wants another second chance. Parole wouldn't be a second chance. It wouldn't be a third chance. Jody Craig told Jim Rogers Jr., Jim Rogers Sr., Melanie Rogers, Mike Hardaway, and Cynthia Baxter that he would not be taken alive. He stated that if they got him, he would take them with him. He made good on that statement 6 hours after he took Mr. Rogers. I think he would have sobered up by then. That's why I think it needs to be extreme caution to let someone out where alcohol can be purchased on every corner. In his clemency hearing and parole hearing, Mr. Wise asked Jody if he killed him because he knew him. Jody stated that's not the reason that he killed him. He told Bonnie Jackson the same answer in his last parole hearing. He didn't kill any of the Rogers. He didn't kill Miss Baxter. He killed Mike. The only thing standing between him and sexually assaulting Miss Baxter was Mike. Jody says there was no reason that he killed Mike. In his own words, he wanted to have sex with Miss Baxter. That's never been brought up here. That's never been brought up when it comes of what he did that day. Jody's family owned a dairy farm on the Mike Pope Road in Shongaloo. It was located a quarter mile down the road from where Mike and his family are buried, including my father. His family would give bull yearlings to Mike's family each year. Jody spent the night with Mike at his house. They knew each other.
Mr. Lewis, would you kind of wrap it up, please? So I think we
Yes,
got
thank
the gist of what you wanted to say.
Yes, sir. This is the last paragraph. When y'all voted communing his sentence, y'all told me this wasn't a vote to turn him loose. You said you heard me when I spoke how this destroyed Mike's parents. You said, we hear you now, and I told you Mike's daddy cried every day, all day, until the day he died, December 25th, 1979, 14 days after on Christmas morning. The doctors told everyone that he died of a broken heart. Takotsubo cardiomyopathy wasn't diagnosed in 1979. It was diagnosed in 1990. It's broken heart syndrome, very real thing caused by grief. My family has always felt like he killed 2 people that day. I could go on, but I'm not going to. That's my point. It's his decision to get life in prison without the possibility of parole to live. He chose that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate those comments. I know they're heartfelt and for your family. Sorry about what you've gone through. Representative Raymond Cruz, sir, would you tell us what's on your mind?
Thank you, Chair Prater, and the rest of the board, and everybody that's attending today. I just heard about this case recently. I represent Bossier Parish where this occurred. And it was brought to my attention that this parole hearing was being held. I can tell you, I can't think of much more than Mr. Lewis said in terms of why this shouldn't be granted. I actually support Cody. I do, and or Jody, but not for his release. I support him to be incarcerated and continue in that manner. I wear socks today for the state of Louisiana says union, justice, and confidence. And the citizens of the state expect justice and confidence. And I think granting this parole would do the opposite. We need the people to know that we're looking out for them and we're executing justice the way it's needed. When I read the string of events and all the prior times that Mr. Craig has been on the opposite side of law enforcement, I saw a pattern. When I looked at his apprehension over in Tyler of his first victim there at about 5 o'clock and realized the time it takes to drive today on the interstate to Vicksburg is 5 hours, 4 hours. But on the back roads, well, it was many, many hours. So I'm thinking he had plenty of time to think about what he's doing, what the consequences of this would be. And I believe he's got all the chances he needs to be able to be released and that it's haven't been granted. I don't think they should. I do think that for everything we do, there's a consequence. And unfortunately, the consequence for him is continued incarceration. I think that's best for the people of Louisiana. I think that's best for the families that have been impacted. But I think that is what justice is. Many times we suffer things from our decisions, and there's just no way around it. And I'm afraid that needs to continue in this. So I appreciate y'all giving me the time to speak. I was amazed at how much the internet has not done for us yet, because I researched this on the internet for several hours. We don't have all these records recorded. So to hear some of those documents from Richland Parish were eye-opening, even further to me. I thought on the evidence that I had just from the arrest records, whatever, exposure, and the police there, that was reason enough to keep them incarcerated. But after hearing all the details, I'm convinced the people of the state would want to see continued incarceration in this. Sorry for the family that this has happened in their life and the Craig family, but I'm even more sorry for the victims of this continued series of crimes. And I would appreciate that y'all give a strong consideration to denying this parole. Thank you.
Thanks, sir, for taking time to come and talk to us, and we will take all of those seriously, okay? Mr. Craig, this case has been assigned to me, and it's, I don't think anybody else is going to speak. Hold on just a second, Mr. Craig. No one else is going to speak, correct? Okay. All right, that's all that will be speaking. I've already identified and introduced them. Everyone else that's on Zoom that we're aware of. And so, anyways, it's my as the interviewer, as the lead on this thing, I'm supposed to ask you questions. I don't have a lot of questions about the crime, but and I don't have a lot of questions because we've had so much extensive coverage as far as support and as far as being against you. I've read the file, several hundred pages of the police reports and the file and all that. And we all know how egregious the crime was. And also, I don't have a lot of questions to ask. In fact, I have no questions. Miss Jerry, Miss Ledoux, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
No, I've read it all thoroughly. Thank you.
Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask, Mr.
No, just that the young man that was killed was only 23 years old. I read that. And then they had two funerals in 2 weeks. The dad died, like you said. And I do know they have documented broken heart syndrome. So all of it's sad.
Okay. All right. I think everybody's got all the questions. You said what you need to say. We've heard for the pros and the cons, and so it's time for us to make a decision. It's my responsibility to be the first one to vote, and it takes a unanimous vote to grant your parole. And having studied the case extensively, and we all agree, even you agree, how heinous the crime was. And so my vote is I want to tell you how proud I am of your accomplishments and all that, but at some point, there has to be consequences. And you pled to, the sentence that you got. And so I feel like that's what you need to serve this particular time. And so my vote is to deny your request for a parole. Ms. Stapleton?
I concur with Mr. Prater for the same reason. You pled, made a plea bargain, and the crime was very heinous.
Ms. Gary?
Mr. Craig, 21-year-old, who does this, you've served 45 years. You've done so many good things. Today, my vote is going to be to deny, but I see that you've done what you need to do. You're doing the things you need to do. Okay? So my vote is to deny.
Okay, Mr. Craig, I'm sorry to tell you, but your parole's been denied this morning. The time is 10:09. That's the end of this hearing.